Lincoln Heights High School, nestled in the quiet suburbs of a small American city, is a classic institution with long hallways, red brick walls, and paint faded by time. Each morning, yellow school buses line up at the gate, and students pour in noisily. But beneath the facade of a model school, many stories remain buried. Ms. Emily Reed's classroom is on the second floor, near a window overlooking the parking lot. Her room stays lit later than others, as she often lingers with students. Emily, 32, is a dedicated English teacher, a top graduate in education, and once named the district's Teacher of the Year. With her dark brown hair tied in a low bun, neutral-tone cardigans, and a vintage watch, she embodies the ideal educator. Living alone with a small dog, she firmly believes every child deserves an adult who believes in them. Among her students, Lily Harper, 15, stands out, not for her grades, but for her quiet demeanor and frail, pale appearance. Often clad in oversized hoodies, her head bowed, Lily sits alone in the cafeteria, eating little, if she brings lunch at all. Her arms bear recurring bruises, and she flinches when adults approach. Emily takes notice when Lily begins missing classes and seems distracted. One day after school, she asks Lily to stay behind. At first, Lily is silent, but as Emily gently probes, the girl breaks down in tears. Beneath the veneer of an ordinary student lies a deeply wounded soul. Lily lives with her mother, Karen Harper, 38, a cashier at a local supermarket, and her stepfather, Frank Harper, 46, an electrician. From the outside, their home appears perfect: neatly trimmed lawn, clean shingles, an American flag by the porch. But inside, it's cold and lifeless. Curtains always drawn, gray walls, no family photos. Lily's room is bare, save for textbooks, notebooks, and a torn pillow. Her door is locked from the outside each night, a shiny silver padlock, chilling in its implication. Frank Harper, the stepfather, seems calm and soft-spoken, earning him the neighbor's praise as a good husband for washing the car, mowing the lawn, and greeting everyone with a smile. Yet he's a master manipulator, spinning tales of victimhood. I try to be a father to Lily, but she rejects me. She makes things up because she hates me. Years ago, he was investigated in another state for molesting a minor, but the case was dropped for lack of evidence. Karen Harper, Lily's mother, endured a bitter divorce before marrying Frank, believing him to be the last decent man left. Desperate to avoid another broken family, she denies reality. When Lily accuses Frank, Karen lashes out. "You're trying to ruin everything. You're influenced by social media, movies. Frank would never do that." After hearing Lily's halting confessions, Emily reports the situation to the school administration. However, Principal Thompson, 54, a longtime manager more concerned with the school's reputation than its students, hesitates. "We need clear evidence. A false report could damage the school's standing." When Lily's family threatens a lawsuit, Thompson swiftly suspends Emily, citing overstepping her role as an educator. Emily, who once believed every child deserved a trusted adult, now faces the heavy consequences of her choice. The air in the principal's meeting room feels as cold as a lingering winter. Emily sits across from Principal Thompson and two district representatives, a lawyer, Mr. Mitchell, and an unfamiliar HR official. On the table lies Emily's report, neatly clipped in a pale gray folder. But when Thompson speaks, his tone belies his polished exterior. "We understand your intentions, but you overstepped. What you did wasn't reporting a concern. It was an accusation without evidence." Emily is stunned. Lily is a child who needs help. "I couldn't wait when I saw the bruises on her arms, when she told me about the door locked from the outside every night. But do you have proof?" Mitchell cuts in, his voice steady, his eyes sharp as knives. You're acting on feelings, personal emotions. A school can't operate on sentiment. Emily feels her chest tighten. This was a place she once trusted. Now it's a battlefield where she's cornered. At home, Lily sits on her bed, her diary open before her, but her pen doesn't move. The last scrawled line reads, "They won't believe me. He'll win again. Mom will side with him. Ms. Reed will get in trouble. I have to stay quiet." Outside her door, heavy footsteps echo. The silver padlock gleams under the cold yellow light. Each night, the click of the lock sends chills down her spine. Frank Harper, the man who speaks so softly to neighbors, wields that gentleness as a weapon. He doesn't hit. He threatens, whispers close to her ear, and stares with hollow eyes when night falls. When Lily cries, her mother, Karen, just shakes her head, refusing to listen. Stop imagining things. What has Frank done? He cooks, he works, he pays the bills. Do you want to destroy everything again? After the meeting, Emily is suspended from teaching. She clears her desk in silence. Each book returned to a box as if it, too, has been condemned. As she leaves the classroom, a few students in the hallway watch, some with sad eyes, others with confused glances. No one speaks. Zoe, Lily's classmate, almost says something but swallows her words. She remembers Lily's warning. "I can't tell. If you tell, it'll get worse." And Zoe, only 15, lacks the courage to break that silence. A social worker, Ms. Garcia, is the only one who truly listens to Emily after she contacts Child Protective Services. They meet at a quiet cafe. Emily recounts everything, holding nothing back. Garcia listens, hands clasped, brows furrowing at mentions of the padlock, the bruises, the diary. "I believe you," Garcia says softly, "but our process requires clear evidence or witnesses. Do you want to wait until that girl is hurt even more?" Emily's voice sharpens. "I don't want to wait, but the law demands it. It's the bitterest truth. The system built to protect also shackles those trying to act." Rumors spread. On Facebook, an anonymous account posts, "Teacher falsely accuses student's stepfather. Family plans to sue." Hours later, a local paper runs the headline, "Lincoln Heights teacher suspended for overreach. Student denies abuse." No one asks how Lily truly feels. No one questions why she never looks anyone in the eye when she says, "I'm fine." On the radio, a reporter interviews Frank. "I'm just trying to be a good father. But in this society, men like me are always suspected." His words spark hundreds of likes, shares, and sympathies, while Lily sits alone in her room, the padlock on her door and her diary growing thicker with fear. Frank becomes the wronged father. On TV, he appears with Karen, his eyes pained but forgiving. I hope that teacher learns the consequences of baseless accusations. We forgive her, but we want our family's honor restored. Emily watches the broadcast in silence. Each word cuts like a knife. One day, Zoe, Lily's classmate, can't take it anymore. She goes to the school nurse, demanding to call Garcia. I think Lily's in danger. Do you have proof?" Zoe pulls out a crumpled piece of paper, a snippet from Lily's diary she glimpsed. "If someone reads this, I might not have the chance to speak again. Every night, he comes in. I pray Mom believes me. I pray Ms. Reed doesn't give up." Zoe's hands tremble as she places the crumpled paper on Ms. Garcia's desk. The air in the office feels frozen. Garcia picks up the note, her eyes scanning the jagged, pencil-scrawled words. "If someone reads this, I might not have the chance to speak again. Every night, he comes in. I pray Mom believes me. I pray Ms. Reed doesn't give up." The words are brief, choked, but to a seasoned social worker like Garcia, they're an alarm that can't be ignored. "Zoe, where did you find this?" From Lily's bag. I didn't dare take it, just copied a few lines on a scrap paper. You did well. Thank you for being brave. Garcia knows this isn't ironclad evidence, but it's enough to reopen the case. That evening, Garcia calls Child Protective Services, requesting the initial investigation, closed for lack of clear grounds, be reopened. This time, she attaches the diary excerpt and requests an urgent welfare check. We can't wait until we find scars to confirm this child has been harmed. By then, it might be too late. But the harsh reality is that even as Garcia acts, the legal process moves like a rusted wheel. Meanwhile, in the suburban house, the padlock on Lily's door still gleams. Word of Garcia's reopened investigation reaches Emily, but with a warning. You're not allowed to contact the student or approach the Harper family during the investigation. If you do, you could face charges for harassment. The district's lawyer, Mr. Mitchell, sends a cold email. If you continue to involve yourself, the board will consider permanent termination. Let those with authority handle it. Emily stands in her small apartment, her dog curled at her feet. She feels locked away, like Lily, in a room no one wants to see. That night, Lily hears the familiar heavy footsteps in the hallway. The padlock clicks and the door opens, light casting a shadow. Frank stands there. No smile, no words, just a stare. Lily doesn't scream. She knows no one would hear. But her eyes, for the first time, hold a flicker of defiance. I know you wrote something, Frank says softly. You think those adults will save you? You're making your mom sad. You're making me tired. Now you're betraying us. Lily sits still. Her hand grips the diary hidden under her pillow. Early the next morning, police cars and social workers arrive at the Harper home. An emergency welfare check order was signed overnight, thanks to Garcia's direct appeal to a judge. Frank opens the door, calm as ever. We have a warrant to search and need to speak privately with Lily Harper. Karen emerges, frantic. What's this about? There's nothing wrong here. Why all this fuss? Garcia, gentle but firm, responds. We need to take Lily to a safe place for questioning. This is mandatory protocol. Lily is let out, face pale, eyes wide with shock. But when she sees Garcia, she nods silently and doesn't look back. In the safe confines of Child Protective Services office, Garcia places a cup of hot cocoa in front of Lily. You don't have to talk if you're not ready, but this is a safe place. After a long silence, Lily speaks. I thought no one would believe me. Even my mom doesn't. I didn't know how to say it. Garcia nods. Waits. He comes into my room every night. Mom says it's just my imagination. But I can't imagine the smell of alcohol, the sound of his breathing so close. Lily begins to cry. But this time, they're the first tears of hope. Frank Harper is detained for questioning, but his lawyers quickly intervene. Mr. Mitchell calls it a prosecution without solid evidence. Karen denies everything. She's just a sensitive kid imagining things. Frank would never do anything wrong. The news explodes. Public opinion splits. Some support Lily, condemning child abuse. Others defend Frank, claiming the teacher and society are blowing it out of proportion. Emily, though no longer teaching, follows every update. When she hears Lily has been removed from the home, she covers her face and cries. For the first time in weeks, her heart feels lighter than stone. Though the investigation is reopened, everything remains precarious. Garcia confides in Emily. Frank has good lawyers. He leaves no traces. He plays by the rules, but bends them, like every manipulator. Without more concrete evidence, Lily's testimony might not be enough. Emily clenches her fists. We can't let this fade. Not again. Zoe, after weeks of silence, decides to speak out. In front of a local journalist camera, she says, I'm Lily's classmate. I've heard her cry in the bathroom. I've seen Frank look at me like he was warning me not to talk. Lily isn't lying. I know because I've been through it too. No one believed me. I can't let that happen to Lily. Her words spread like wildfire online. Thousands share the hashtag, Listen to Lily. For the first time, the public refuses to stay silent. That morning, Emily sits in her car, staring at the county courthouse. She's not a key witness. She's no longer Lily's teacher. She's not even allowed near the Harper family. But she's there because someone has to be there for Lily. In the hearing, Frank Harper wears a crisp white shirt, hair neatly combed, a faint smile plastered on his face. His lawyer is clever, composed. We maintain that my client is a victim of misunderstandings and slander. There's no physical evidence, no direct witnesses, only the words of an emotionally troubled teenager. Karen Harper, Lily's mother, is present. When questioned, she says, "I don't think Frank did it. I live with him. If something was wrong, I'd know first, wouldn't I?" On the other side, Lily is escorted by Garcia and a young lawyer from a juvenile advocacy group. She wears a white blouse and jeans, her hair tied back, face pale, but her eyes no longer avoid contact. Lily stands before the bench. Her voice is soft but steady. "I don't remember the first time, but I remember the smell of alcohol, the sound of footsteps, the way he said my name like he owned me. I tried telling Mom, but she said I was lying, so I stayed quiet." When Ms. Emily asked, "Is something scaring you?" it was the first time I wanted to say yes. But I said no, because I wasn't sure anyone would believe me. I wrote in my diary because it was the only place I dared tell the truth. The courtroom is silent, save for the rustle of papers and stifled breaths. Just when it seems the case might stall, an investigator from another state arrives with an old file. Frank Harper was reported by his former wife's daughter. The case was dropped when the family withdrew the complaint, but the record remains. Frank's lawyer objects fiercely. That's irrelevant, past the statute of limitations and unrelated to Lily. But the court allows the file to be considered in deliberations. Emily, seated in the back, holds her breath. Hope reignites. After 3 days of hearings, the panel of judges delivers their ruling. Based on consistent testimony, signs of psychological trauma, the authenticated diary excerpt, and the defendant's prior record, the court approves charges against Frank Harper for child molestation and unlawful confinement. Frank remains silent as he's handcuffed. Karen screams, "No, you're wrong. He didn't do anything. Lily, you lied, didn't you? You're just mad at me, aren't you?" Lily doesn't respond. She meets her mother's eyes, not with anger or blame, but with the empty gaze of a child who screamed in silence for too long. A week after the trial, Emily receives a letter from the district. "After full review, we restore your position at Lincoln Heights High." But she doesn't return. Instead, she applies to work at a center for at-risk youth, where she can listen to children no one else hears. Lily is placed in a temporary foster home, quiet, safe, with books and pictures in her room. Garcia visits weekly. One day, Lily asks, "Ms. Garcia, do you think my mom will ever understand?" Garcia pauses, then says gently, "Maybe not soon, but you don't need her to understand to find happiness." The story doesn't end with a tearful reunion or miraculous forgiveness. Karen still refuses to believe her daughter. Frank awaits his formal trial. Emily steps away from the classroom. But Lily is safe. The truth was heard. And a teacher once suspended never gave up. Sometimes justice doesn't come from the system. It comes from those who dare to do what's right, even when no one stands with them.